So you want to start a new army? What's it gonna be this time, Black Templars?
God's lessons are so beautiful.
Krieg?
Und Muskatnuss! Muskatnuss, Herr
Dark Angels?
Là, messire, là!
Starting a new Warhammer army is very exciting, and that's exactly what I'm doing today. And while watching this video, you might want to tell me, Hubes, you are doing it wrong. Well, you have no idea. Welcome, my name is Hubert, and today, while I paint my new test model for my Warhammer 40k Chaos Knight army, let's talk about the joy of starting a new project like this. This is my third army. First one are Necrons, second are Tyrannids, and they are not done yet. I wouldn't be a true wargamer if that was the case. I have a simple goal. I want to collect every army with at least one playable list. Now, of course, this changes with editions and data states, but that's my general rule. So let's ask some useful questions while I start building this Chaos Dog. First, what faction do you want to play? There is one for every taste. Today I picked Chaos Knights because they play in a very different way than what I'm used to, and not because it's possible to stack the spoilers with dual Gatlings. Also, they look really cool. And that will be my only advice in this matter. If you're not playing for the win, pick accordingly to the rule of cool and what you can connect with. You can win with every faction, or you can be that guy that collects and plays Custodes only. Good, now you have your faction. What to do next? Let's create a playable list by using the Relative Codex or one of those apps. I use New Recruit because I like the interface, it's free and it works very well. You'll find a list of other free tools in the description. I built the list with the bit of experience I have and what I think will be fun to play. So 2 big knights, a few melee and ranged dogs, Rotigus, Nurgle beasts and some Nurglings. That way I'll have fun on the table and while painting the army. So here is everything I need for this army. I'm still missing the despoiler and some war dogs. But before I even start buying stuff, I looked for ways to customize my army and really make it my own. Reddit, Discords, Instagram, and a cool place I found to look for inspiration is Etsy.com. There you'll find good resin bits and proxies if you don't own a printer. You get to see some insane stuff on the internet, of course, from insane conversions to unreal paint jobs. Don't let them fool you. It's really easy to get discouraged while looking at this stuff. And by the way, one cheap and easy way I found to customize this army is to change their posture by articulating the legs and the arms and the weapons with fire. I want to try new stuff whenever it's possible, and for this army I started with how I would do the bases. I love doing bases and I really want to improve my technique and general art direction, I'd say. To me it's as important as the model, if not more in some cases. So this time, as I went for a Nurgle-themed army, I chose to set it in a swamp biome. Picture the dead marshes from The Lord of the Rings. So I got some resin bits and trees, tufts, and an acrylic water gel, and also some weird spider web airbrush effects. I want the project to be balanced, as to not spend too much time on the bases or on the model. You, I see you. You who have already used acrylic water gel before, I see you smiling. And this brings me to the next question. What amount of time or skill are you willing or able to allocate to the project? I chose the Chaos Knights because I knew I could build playable lists by mixing big mechs and demons. That way I get fewer models and more variety to paint and showcase on the channel. For customization, I went for cool effects from Deadly Prince Studios that I know are not too hard or long to paint, and they add a lot to the models without asking too much time or skill, and I can't wait to paint them. Here are my constraints for this project. I have a day job, and I want to make vids about every model. English is not my native language, so writing and making vids takes some time.
No, you.
I beg your pardon.
And if you don't come, Ah merde alors, comment on dit
Comment
ça?
ça merde alors? But alors you are French.
So time is the main factor here. Second would be the army to be playable in a semi-competitive setting, so I won't go crazy on conversions. And finally, I want every model to help me define, each time, a bit more, my own grimdark style. And that's why a test model is a good thing, because I ended up spending all my work week nights assembling and preparing this guy. And by the way, let's melt some plastic and make some holes. I've never done it and I wanted to test this before I used this technique for another project. And now I know next time I'll do it before gluing the pieces together, for you have to apply a bit of pressure for it to work. I did not know if I wanted shell impacts or corrosion holes, so I did a bit of everything here and there. Then I thought it might be too much, so I painted only decay effects later. Let's prime him. Grey. And then, let's never do that again. I thought by starting with a bright coat, each wash and weathering effect we'd add later would show more, and I was wrong, I think, because I went for a 90% metal and such a big model. Metal over bright primer just makes everything flat. You get no margin, every detail on recess is visible, and later it would be hard for me to compensate for this. Well, again, that's why a test model is a really good thing. And where did I get it, you might ask? This is our next question. Once you have your faction and general idea, where do you get your models from? First, I got every proxy for this list from Etsy, as I don't own a printer. In fact, I built the whole army around the Great Unclean One that I'll use for Rotigus. Just look at him. Magnificent. I got some nice alternative Nurglings and Beasts of Nurgle. They'll be so much fun to paint and bring to the table. The despoiler box I got from my brother and sisters, because they know I'm addicted. These 2 dogs I got as a payment for the 2 Demon Princes commission I did a while back. And finally, this 1 war dog we're painting today I got from Vinted. Yeah, if you are not aware yet, toxic fast fashion tools work for Warhammer 2, and as I was looking for a cheap model, I found this one for far less than GW store price. You can also join trade markets, groups, and find good deals. Just be careful who you buy from. When a deal sounds too good to be true, most of the time it is. Oh, and let's talk about the Warhammer store. Physical stores are marketing tools. They are made to bring new people in, and that's okay. There is an interesting interview I watched a while ago on this subject. I'll try to find it and link it in the description. Now I'm talking to the new players and painters. You don't have to buy everything from GW directly. Most of the time you'll find hobby stores that offer the same products for up to 25% less, I think. In my Wargaming association, we had a deal with some guy in one of the nearby valley, and he took no commission on GW orders, so 25% flat. And that's a good idea too. join a club, not only for deals, but the sooner you get to throw dice and enjoy the game, the more motivated you'll get to paint your army. But I digress. Some good websites I found so far are Wayland Games, Element Games for UK, Radadel in Germany. They are awesome and sweet, and thanks to them I got my Necron pre-order in very, very perfect timing. And finally, L'Entretemps for France. The last two I discovered thanks to you guys, so again, thank you. Alright, we are ready to slap some paint on this guy and see where it goes. Also, if you want to see more, feel free to subscribe as it helps the channel a lot. Some of you might know what I'm trying to achieve here. Realistic paint job anchored in reality with what serves as a platform for effects. I'm not satisfied by everything here. We'll see at the end what I would change or keep. Also, I think I might have diluted my slime grime a bit too much. Now, if I want to paint my glow effects, I need to prepare the base first, since I have effects connecting to it. I'm still using a very simple recipe: base color, wash, dry brush. Simple and easy to do in batches. We will go nuts on the added effects later. And this brings me to the next good idea when starting a new project. Write down your recipes. You never know when you forget things, and this also helps you keep track of where you changed your mind. For example, before testing, I wanted to go for a brighter brown as a base for the base, then decided to start with a really dark one. Noted. While this is going on, let's reflect for a moment on what is working so far and what is not. Gray primer didn't work. Also, it's not a good idea to use this on complicated models, as you can't really see where you've already been. Noted. Metallics on gray primer, got it, won't do it again, and I might as well try a sponge next time since I'm already going for heavy texture. Can't hurt. Noted. Villainy inks work to a certain degree. I think I can dilute them less. I really want these big machines to look corroded and almost like you'd get all sorts of diseases just by touching them. I can go for more color. At this stage, we are ready to push the fun stuff. Moving on to glow effects. Starting with white with the brush, then the airbrush for glowing parts. I'm not gonna lie, I chose the colors last minute and went for realism for the Gatling gun and missile, then pink and violet for the rest. This is a Chaos Army, so it's a good opportunity to try new colors. It is now Monday evening, and I usually upload on Wednesday, so that won't happen. There is still a bit more to try. First, some grass tufts from Gamer Grass. I got some variety that, in my opinion, still fit the swamp theme. The bush style ones are here for a simple purpose. That will be the last step for this model. But before that, once the PVA is dry, I add some water acrylic effects in the little pond I prepared. I've created water before with epoxy, and acrylics seems to behave the same, except for one thing. Yes, it's simpler to use, but I was not prepared for it to take 48 hours to dry for only a 3mm deep pond. It's now Wednesday night and I can finally start finishing my model. I got this weird spider web fluid and I'm really excited to try it for the first time. Apparently, you're just supposed to airbrush this stuff on spots that would be able to hold some silky veil, some texture, and that's why I put bushes everywhere. Looks cool, we'll see if it holds with time. I think not. And now, we are finally ready to take a look at my finished Chaos Dog test model. as it tends to be the case in every video I upload now, this model had me try so much stuff for the first time. Let's first see what I'm really proud of. The posture, most of the glow effects, mostly the fire ones, the white weathered pauldrons, and for the big picture, how this model blends with his base and how I think I managed to tell a story. This Chaos War Dog just halted his course to take a shot. What I don't like now, again, some of the armor feels flat, not enough contrast, not enough definition. It could have benefited a driver step and of course a darker primer. Duly noted. Second, I think I'm holding back on something right at the opposite of the Nightbringer I did in last video, and I have to think about this. The main lesson I get from this project is this. This whole recipe works for me because I like how it looks, but more importantly, I enjoyed every step of it. Except adding those lightning tendrils on the claw. This will never be not painful. Yeah, also, I really need to manage my time more efficiently because I won't be able to keep up. While transforming his pose, I had to wait a lot for stuff to dry, and I don't like being late. Alright, I've given you my whole thought process for starting a new army. Time for me to already start a new project, and this time again, not for me. And now I want to ask you, what do you do differently? What drives you when starting a new project like this? Also, any bit of knowledge or tip is more than welcome, not just for me, but for anyone getting lost in the comments. I'll see you soon for some more 40k stuff, so until next time, happy painting!